We're a palliative care and special needs exempt charity, and we're based in Shirebrook, and we originated in Norfolk. I didn't intend to go into rescue. I fell into rescue because a cat that we have here now called Miles was living in my garden for quite some time. We thought he was owned. He wore a collar, and we had to keep releasing the pressure on the collar. And it was self-evident when he started eating my chicken feed that he wasn't owned. He had been abandoned in the village. So Miles ended up staying with us, and then we got Sophie. And then we adopted Tiberius, who is an onyx. He's a black cat like Caesar there. And then we stayed at the Happy 3. I think we got Pushka. I think you managed to get me Pushka, didn't you? Who was beautiful, but unfortunately she died of ovarian syndrome, and that's what made me fall into stage 2 of the Cottage Kitties, because the nursing care at the vets didn't equate. They just let her die. It was quite sad, really, because ovarian syndrome is when they leave part of the uterus in when they do a spay. And she had a very high temperature, she got septicemia, and they just locked the cats up and the dogs up overnight, and they just left them unattended overnight, and she died. And I thought, this is not appropriate. So I decided to just redress the situation. But I couldn't do that straight away because I had my own problems. So when we relocated after my surgery to Dolee, that's when the palliative care and the special needs clicked into force. And with the help of Elizabeth, after my own recovery, I decided that we were going to do the special needs as part of the Cottage Kitties. We've got cats with dementia. We've got cats that have emotional problems. Time and patience and calm and quiet is all they need sometimes, but they're retrained here to work.
Why was the fire inside you so strong that it went from a love of animals to essentially a passion project and now your job?
Basically, it was me or the brain tumour, and I lived. And I thought that I was fed up with people who were taking vast sums of money, the veterinary services, taking vast sums of money from people, and they weren't really fulfilling their duty enough. And they were saying to me, there wasn't anybody out there that could do this job. They weren't prepared to do this job. And I think that's why I decided that, okay, if there's nobody out there that can do palliative care and special needs, then perhaps I need to do it.
Mum needed something to go forward with, and I think this just found her, if you see what I mean. And she's thrown everything, because Mum's like that, she's thrown everything into her passion, and every single kitten or cat that we've got, I mean, they're not really called cats, are they? Called kitties. There is a story behind them all, and they've all got their own little personalities and attributes that, Mum can see. I'm just really proud of Mum because she works hard, she's retired, she's not got great health. I only can help out where I can because I've got a full-time position in a hospital, so I can only support where I can. And Mum's up at the crack of dawn every day, even if she can hear a thunderstorm, she's down here supporting them all because she knows that they'll be upset, and they mean so much to her. So just supporting her wherever I can and being there for her.
How important is it to provide this service to cats and kittens of all ages?
I think it's essential. I mean, with the fact that people are actually coming here and asking me to take on their animals, and I get people in tears. We've had to turn people away because we haven't got enough fosters, and that saddens me.
You do have fostering for cats that are healthy enough to be fostered. Yes. Can you tell us a bit about how that works?
Right. We have a scheme called Forever Fosters, which is a lovely name, and it's a permanent fostering system whereby we look after the cats, but if you were fostering for us, you would take, say, Caesar, and you would look after him in your home. You would provide the litter and the food, and then we would see Caesar every 4 to 6 weeks. We would look at his ears, his eyes, his teeth, do his nails for him, check his coat, apply his topical flea and his wormer, and then we would provide his booster once a year. And then if any real major situations come about, like medical care, diabetes or whatever, we would look after that as well. If it was anything more serious, then it would have to go to the committee to decide what we're going to do, because we haven't got a money tree at the bottom of the garden. We're not the RSPCA. Unfortunately, it took 100 years for them to get to the situation they're at with their type of funding. They started off like us as well. So we need forever fosters. And we also need short-term fosters, because the other thing we provide, if a lady goes into hospital, we would like to be able to provide sort of system where she could bring her cat to us and we would have a short-term foster that could look after her cat while she was in, say, Kingsmill Hospital having a procedure done, or perhaps having care herself.
We are very open to any volunteers that would be interested in experience of hands-on with the kitties, especially early in the mornings, because that's when the key part is, when we have to clean out everything. They also can be quite naughty at night. They have like cat parties, I think.
I think they do.
So there's quite a lot to do in the mornings, and it would be wonderful to have more volunteers who would actively enjoy being part of the Cottage Kitties on a more regular basis.
Yes.
If people want to find you or need to find you, how would they do that, and what would you say to them?
We would appreciate any help at all, whether they would fundraise for us, hold a coffee morning for us, or afternoon tea. We're on Google. You just type in the Cottage Kitties Shirebrook and ping. I had friends in London that did that, and they couldn't believe that they found us on Google. We're so prominent. They can fundraise for us. They can make regular monthly donations. You can sponsor a cat. We would love people to sponsor a cat. That would be lovely. And we're getting people to send out a monthly sort of newsletter about their cat. They get a picture of their cat and everything. That would be wonderful.